Hi, welcome to Rate My Gadget, and I'm going to show you a bit of a random one. These internal air dryers, when they finally do give up, how do you fix this, save the environment, replace the rope and not have to buy an old brand new one? Okay, let's see. So first things first, you want to take all of the rope out of the unit, and if in order to remove the rope out of it, you can just chop it away. But what you'll find is that the rope themselves will be knotted inside these little areas here, and then you can then pull them out. Okay, here we go. I'll just show you a little bit closer. So all I'm doing is just getting the pliers and then just pulling that out like that. Okay, so now they're completely clear. So all of those are empty. You can get rid of all these little bits. Now, the next bit is that you want to buy some rope. It's going to be a decent length, and it will hold the weight. Now you can buy on Amazon quite cheaply, and the link is here. The paracord, they call it, rope. The link to the one is the one I'm going to be using on this. Let me show you how you do that and how you manage to loop it. So what you're going to be eventually doing, just to very quickly summarise, you're going to be putting the rope through these two ends here, looping it over the top of the hanging points that you've already got, and then you'll have two bits of rope coming off that you can then just lower them by different levels. And I'll show you, the difficult bit is the tying of the knots and the measuring of the rope. So let me show you. This is the stuff here, nylon paracord, and it's got 7 cores. So this is the stuff, and the link, like I said, at the top, and ultimately you're unwrapping it and then you're cutting it at length that you need. But let me show you all of that. Okay, so let me show you where you're going to end up, and then that will help probably as we talk through this. I'll talk you through all of the bits. So what you're going to have is 2 ends, both the same like this. You're going to have what's called a barrel hitch, and again, very simple. I'll show you how to do that, because what you want is you want one wire that's going to hold this up like so, and you'll see at the bottom here, this is just fed through, so you don't have to tie any knots or anything like that. This is just fed through, so this will naturally hang from one, and then you'll have a second string exactly the same, hang from the other. So let me show you how you do it. Okay, so I'll undo all of this and I'll show you step from step. Do not worry, really easy. So you get the rope here, you put it into one end like this, you pull it out, you go to the same end, and you put the rope back through here. Now this bit may be the fiddly bit because going in is, there you go, that's all right. Okay. Took a little bit longer than expected, but there you go. So you've got your rope there, okay, that's going through both sides. Now what you could do really easily is you could take that rope fully away and then put it over the loop. However, what I would propose is to do a barrel hitch, okay, on this, and I'll show you exactly how to do this. Yourself on this end, fairly decent length, probably about an arm's length, something like that, depending on the height of your room. So if the height of your room is lower, you may want to just take, because wherever you're tying that from, that's going to then be the point on the top, okay? So you've got that wrap there, okay? So you're creating a hole, if you like. You take that other bit of string there, put that up through the hole, okay? Like that. You're then bringing that round there and then back down inside there. Okay, and if you can, pull as much rope as you can through there. Okay, grab these 2 bits here, grab this bit here, pull it, and then hold that bit down, and eventually it'll all go tight if you keep pulling it. Okay, so it will go tight like so. And that's it. Not particularly clear, probably. I've shown a video on the side of how you do that. So now that there isn't going anywhere. Now if you want to change the height of it, you do have to be careful. You can pull this and then pull it down and up. So you can loosen off the knot and pull this out. However, for me, that's perfect. And what you need to do is you need to make sure, and that's the difficult bit, is that this is the same length on both ends. Okay. Now then, what you're doing is taking this long bit of string, and eventually you're going to have to cut it off at some point, because what you're trying to figure out, this is only something that you can do in your household, is put it over the top and see how far it comes down. So let me show you how I've done that. Okay, so what I did was I've unwrapped the line completely, and what I'm going to do is, ours hangs up in our utility room. That there that you can just see goes down onto the winder, which is here. So what that means is I'm going to be putting that rope through there, down, and then once I've got a decent enough length from there to the ground, then I'll be cutting it. I'll show you exactly what I mean. Probably makes no sense, but I'll show you what I mean. So here we go, just started it off. So you can see I've put it round that wheel, and I'm just going to keep pulling it, okay, until I'm lifting one end of the air dryer off the floor. Okay, now take all the kinks and everything out of this wire. As you can see, look, there's lots of it. So the length I've got, this 15 meters, is more than enough. Depends, if you've got big vaulted ceilings, then you're gonna need maybe something longer. But for me, this is kind of fine. So let me get there and I'll show you. Oh, that's pretty good. So I might want to add just another, you know, 4 foot onto that to be sure. So I'm going to probably cut it about there. So that gives me enough rope to go up and down with on this side. And that means I know the rest of the rope I can use for the other end. Okay, so that's tied off there. I've brought it down. Look, this is about waist height here. So for me, that rope there, I'm going to cut about there. Got that short. That's at about the right height. So that length of rope now is completely fixed onto that end. So what I can do is, because I need to fit the other end, is obviously take this apart, take that out, and then go do the other end. So here we go. It's off the wall. I've got my rope the length I want it to. Now, the one thing to be aware of is when you do cut it, you'll be exposing these cores here. Now, over time, this will get frayed and it will probably track up the rope. So just to be absolutely complete, just put a bit of sellotape around this end if you can. Try and tidy it up, just to keep all of these strands together so that they're not splitting apart, because over time, as you're pulling on the end of this, it will start fraying. So let me just show you. And then once you've done that, for completeness, just do a length of sellotape over the top, put it over there, put it over, and then just press it down like so. It doesn't look very good. You can tidy it up a little bit more than I've done, but you know, that just stops that fraying at the end. Okay, right, let's do the other end like we've done this end. You've got your one end tied up, lovely. Now you want to unravel the rope, and what you do want to check before you even get to the stage of doing that lovely little bucket hitch rope knot is just check that there's no knots in the rope. Now, it is likely that you might have one. There you go, I've got one there. So, you know, while it's easily out, just undo all those knots, make sure the rope is clear, make sure there's no knots in it. Okay, done. Then, what you're doing is you want to find the two ends of the rope. Now, if you've bought the one that I've got, what you'll find, here we go, you'll have two ends like this now. So you'll have the one that you've cut, which is all frayed, and you'll have the one at the other end of the rope, which, as it came, you want to use this end of the rope, okay? Because you can use this if you really want to, but because it's frayed, you're best to use this end as the good end. Okay, let me show you how, if you need to remember. So put it through one side like that, put it through, and then put it back into the other side. There we go. So now you've got your two legs there. Let me bring that a bit shorter so you can see it on the camera. Okay, you've got two legs there. Now what you want to try and do is you want to replicate as much as possible this height here from that end. Okay, now it doesn't have to be absolutely inch perfect, but this is where it gets a little bit more complicated. So now you're an expert. at that rope knot that I showed you. If not, then I'll still put the video up. So, let me remind you how. You're taking the big bit, putting it up, okay, putting it through the hole like that, then you're wrapping it around there, bringing it back through, okay, and then what you're doing is taking that through there, up there, there you go, okay, that's your hitch knot, like that, okay, like so, there you go, that's good. So what you want to do is hold up the two ends. Now you can already see I've made one end too long. Now I don't want to touch this end. This is the end that I want to start doing. So what you can do is, in order to reduce the length, you need to just bring the rope that way, roughly look at where the length of the rope is, and then just start sliding it. And this is going to be difficult to show on the camera, is you want to just slightly undo that knot, okay? And you want to start bringing that end that you had, feed that through the knot, okay? So there you go. So basically you're making this bit here longer, yeah? So once you've got that, tie it up. See, now that looks pretty good to me. Maybe even a bit shorter actually. So let me try and show you again closely. You undo the knot ever so slightly and you're pulling that bit through as much as possible, okay? So just pulling it through like that, okay, to give it a bit of length. I hope that showed on the camera. And then you're pulling that up like that, okay? So that now, yeah, it's pretty good. That's pretty good in terms of those two lengths, right? So once you're happy, and let me try and show that again. Okay, so this knot here, it's this length here when you're trying to change the length. The shorter this is, the longer this will come, the more you have of this. So tie it up in the bucket hitch and then start shortening or lengthening this, okay? And then once you're at a position where you're happy, hold these two, pull it up, and there you go. You've got your knot again. Okay, now then, what you're doing is putting these two up into the ceiling, this one and tie them up. So let me show you how. Okay, so what you've done is you've fed the ropes through those two, and then it's just hanging. Okay, and the reason it's important to hang is because you want to put the two levels, the two sides, at about the right height, and then you want to tweak it a little bit. So I'll show you how to do that. Okay, so you've got them at roughly the same horizontal level and you've tied them off here, okay? So to tie them off, you just kind of wrap it round. What you might find is, as you can see, it's a bit hanging over. All you need to do is just literally just pull it straight like that. So now that's pretty damn straight. You know, that's fairly good. Don't get a spirit level out on it, you don't need it. But what might happen is when you hang it up, I'll just show you that again. It might be that it's over on one end like this. All you're doing is you literally just bring it straight. Now, if when you bring it straight like that, it's tilting, then just with this bit of rope, just pull it around and tie. You could do, if you wanted to, is these two bits of string here, you could do another knot to tie these together. What you do to untie it is just take these bits together, these ropes here. If I just unwrap both of them, okay, to show you, and then it means you can just pull it up and down. Perfect. So I really hope that's helped. Like I said, you can knot this if you like, put a knot in it so it stops, you know, the two ropes. And the way to do that is just a simple knot. So go round here like that. Make sure you're holding them in the same orientation. You might need two people for this. So just pull that through and then just hold that and pull that. There you go, it's tight. So it's pretty damn good. Okay, and that's it. That's it. So thanks for watching. And please do like, please subscribe. Any questions, any comments, any issues, please do let us know. And hopefully that's helped someone out there. Okay, thanks. Bye-bye. And the last thing to note is that obviously you'll have a long bit of rope here. You can just cut that off. Do the same thing again, I would, and just put a bit of sellotape on the end just to keep it, you know, from fraying. and then the rest of the rope, you know, please dispose of, recycle, make sure or reuse it. So